what do you say to someone who says, I'll come out if my jail time is reduced?
And as we're talking about this, I mean, all this stuff has direct translation to business and personal life too. Because the problem is, first of all, if you've lied, what happens when the other side eventually finds out? Like people you do business with, people in your family. What happens when they find out that you lied to them? Like you're done. And so if somebody were to say to me, in a hostage situation, I'll come out if you promise to reduce my jail time, I'm probably going to say something to the effect of, you want me to lie to you? Now, in a hostage siege, many cases, they'll throw something like that out to see if I'll lie. My currency is credibility, authenticity. It was with the Bureau. It is in my personal life. It is in my business life. If I say it, I'm going to do it. Even if you've given me reason to not trust you, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm cautious about what I say. I'm cautious about making commitments. I'm very cautious about commitments and promises because I plan on keeping them. So I'm cautious. Like you may have, I'll say, let me look over the proposal, and if it works for me, we'll make it happen. Or somebody approached me to do a speaking gig a couple of months ago, said, are you available on this date? I looked at my calendar. I said, yeah, I'm available on that date. Let's talk about it. The response was, okay, so you committed. All right, so let's start talking. And I came back to him and said, no. I said I was available. I never said I was committed. We got to talk about what this is. And sometimes people inadvertently jump the gun. But then a lot of people just want to see if you're going to lie, because they're better at lying than I am. And it's a test. I always look at the temptation to lie as a test. And if somebody very manipulative person, since I'm not a liar, I'm not good at it. And if you're good at it, then you're going to spot it. If one of your methods of operation is to lie, then you're just testing me. I'm working at kidnapping in Saudi, 2004 timeframe, Al-Qaeda in Saudi, which no longer exists. There's a completely different world, different government in Saudi these days than it was back then. But the bad guys, Al-Qaeda's got this guy, Paul Johnson, and it looks very much like they're going to kill him on deadline, if not slightly before. I want to make an appeal through the Arab media. I want Paul Johnson's wife to be interviewed in the Arab media. And we're going to prep her for it, and I'm going to ask her to make some points, some very respectful points. And how do you tell the inarguable truth? Like you don't say, Paul's innocent. You say, Paul's not your enemy. Those are two different things. Innocence is a judgment. Like, Paul Johnson was there to try to help the people in the country. That's why he was there in the first place. You're not going to try to make that point. You can simply say, Paul's not your enemy. So we're going to want her to get in an Arab media, not American media, Arab media, and make a few points like that. And I'm talking to her and Paul's boss, good man, very protective of Paul's wife for good reason, cared about both of them deeply, and looks at me and says, if she does this, is this going to save his life? Now, I don't think it is. I think it's one of the longest shots we could ever take. I'm not trying to pitch that. Slim and none, give me Slim. I didn't say that. And I said, it's probably not within reach. And he says, I didn't think so. I just want to see if you lie to me. We'll do it. And she made the pitch. It was powerful. They killed Paul slightly before deadline. How do I know it was slightly before deadline? Because they put a video of his murder. They put it up on deadline. And for them to have committed the act, them and videoed it and put it up out in the media, it had to have taken place before the deadline was over. But because she was so genuine and so respectful of their culture and even of the bad guys, the Arab media broadly was very critical of the bad guys. And it was the first time that the Arab media had been critical of the bad guys as opposed to the Americans.